Hello everyone, Organic Granny here, also known as Lori. Take 3. Whatever happens, I'm just throwing this up. First time I was doing great. Dearest walks in, blows the whole train of thought. That's okay. So, second take I did, and my beloved iPad just quit in the middle. So then that constituted getting onto the internet, figuring out what was going on. And seems that OS 8 holds on to deleted things for 30 days. So I had to learn how to delete my deleted. So anyways, whatever happens today, whatever happens now, this is going to go up. Okay, so my plan is to show you my finish, to show you my start, and I had an epiphany with the start, and I was going to discuss that. And then what I was going to do is show you some happy mail, and then if I was going to do the 3 tags that are floating around out there. And I was going to do all 3 last, so that if you didn't want to hear that, then you're more than welcome to sign off and carry on. So anyways, we're going to try this one more time. All right. So first, my finish. I did finish Bent Creek's Peaceful Forest. I did it on the called for linen. I did it with the Weeks Dye Works and the Gentle Art sampler threads. And I think it turned out very nicely. And I'm going to show you the back side. And that's probably my neatest back side ever. And the reason it's so neat is this is almost translucent. And so I realized very quickly that I could not do any cross country at all. So should have learned how to do a pin stitch before this, but we now know how to do a pin stitch. This had some road stitches. I had never done road stitches before, and I guess you really can't. I'm gonna try. You can see they're right there. There's some road stitches scattered around the edges here. They were fun to do. The chart came with the diagram on how to do them. They were fairly easy. I don't think they really add that much to the piece, but got those done. Okay. So I got that finished, and then I had an epiphany with my start. And I was going to do Noah's sub, and I have Noah's sub. I made a PVC stand or frame for it, and I have trouble with it only because I can't tighten it because of the arthritis in my hand. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to use it, but I do have it over here, and I was just going to show it to you real quick. So I was really having this, and I didn't even realize that I was having this sort of kind of underlying anxiety about the thing. And I'm like, I didn't even put my finger on it until I decided, well, maybe I'll do something else. Maybe I'm just not in the mood. So I decided to pull out Erica Michaels. And this is called More Gingham Stitches, and I'm doing this one right here. And actually it's called American Gingham. Okay, American Gingham. And I have it on I'm going to do it on the called for fabric, which is 28 count cream / natural gingham Graziano linen, distributed by Norden Crafts. Okay. It has a very subtle pattern to it, and I don't think this is actually, I think this is the threads, the warp and the weft are actually colored, that it's not stamped on. Okay, so, oh, that's back. So anyways, I can't show you the pattern or the graph, but it's not in 10 by 10 squares. It's in 6 by 6 squares. And the reason it is because this is 6 by 6 stitches, squares. So they were helping us by doing the graph 6 on 6. Okay, well, I frogged this little house 2 times before I got it right. I had such anxiety getting this little house in the right spot. I don't know. It was ridiculous. Anyways, I had an epiphany. I said, this is why I'm having trouble with Noah's sub. Is because Noah's sub needs to be started in the correct place. Let's do this right. There we go. Water on the bottom. And I did some gridding. I made a horizon. And I just can't throw the first stitch in there. And I think it's because I'm worried that it's not going to be in the right spot. So anyways, we had a learning experience. I'm okay now. I can do this. Anyways, so there's my very feeble start and my dynamic finish. And so then let's discuss Happy Mail. So I got some Happy Mail. I really enjoyed the needle minder that I had purchased recently, and I decided that, oh, I will just get some more. So I received in the mail this week from Jenna's Needle Minder Collection. She has an Etsy store called Needle Minder Addict, and I will link to that down below. And so I'm just going to try to give you a pretty good close-up here. They all have same general theme. We have some birds. We have a tree with a bird cage. And we have more trees and a pretty pink tree. Sorry about the glare. So those are very nice with the very serious little magnets. And I just have them on this little metal, lost the noun, sorry. You know what this is. Holds a graph. Then I also got from our Real Life of My, or Real Life of Me. I'm not really sure how she pronounces that, but this is Marika. She's one of our Flosstubers. And so I purchased 2 of her needle minders. This is Superfood, a beet, and the broccoli. And these are absolutely adorable. And she also has an Etsy shop, okay? And it's Crafty Bit Creations, and I will link to that on the bottom. Okay, so if you wish to ring off at this point in time, that's fine. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do the 3 tags. Yes, I'm still running. That's exciting. I'm going to do the 3 tags. I'm going to do Pam's stitching style tag. I'm going to do Donna's 10 honest questions tag. And then today I discovered that we also had Fishy Crafts did the unnormal tag, which is pretty much me. Okay, so now we're going to run through these. Hopefully this won't take that long. I'm going to read them off. I have them all printed out here, and I'm just going to read them off. Pam, we're going to do her first. It's the stitching style tag. Favorite fabric. Favorite fabric right now is anything that's not dyed. I don't know if it's because when they dye it that the fiber collapses down or something, but it feels fragile to me. In other words, you have to stitch very delicately, and so it takes longer. I don't know. I'm a firm believer that that the piece will call for a certain kind of fabric, but I'm not a fabric snob. I don't think there's any shame in thread count or Aida or anything like that. If you never ever have a burning desire ever to do anything other than Aida, okay, that's fine by me. But favorite fabric, probably right now for me is Lugana. But I haven't tried a whole lot of other things other than True Linen, Lugana, and Aida. Who knows? There's other stuff out there. Hoop or frame. I have a hate-hate relationship with stretcher bars. I like Q-snaps, but I think Q-snaps sometimes on linen. I think linen sometimes is fragile for Q-snaps. I think you should always try to add like a piece of fabric or a piece of felt, you know, before you put the clamp on. But I think like there's a fabric for everything. I think there's a stretcher bar or a device, a hoop for everything. I personally prefer when I'm doing linen or Lugana, I really prefer my little wooden vintage hoops, and I can use this in my Needlework System 4 frame. I can just put that right in there and clamp it right down, and I can do stitch two-handed. And this is going to go into the next one. Do you use a stand or hold your frame? Okay, I have arthritis in my hands, so I actually can hold this, but I don't like to. I can do it for a couple hours, but then my thumbs start to hurt, so I actually prefer putting this in my stand, and that's why I do like the Needlework System 4 floor stand, is because I can just slide this in, torque it down, and then stitch two-handed. Okay, what is your favorite time to stitch? Generally, I've just experimented with stitching outside. So I was doing a hangout with the Cross Stitch It's Fun group, and we went outside and stitched outside, and that was absolutely wonderful. But generally, stitching happens when everybody's in bed, if the kids are over, when it's quiet, you know, late at night. Do you use a printed paper copy of your chart or digital? I'm afraid I'm pretty old school here. I like paper, but I will go make a working copy. so that I can mangle it up and fold it and clamp it onto the top of my stand. I have used, I have a pattern right now that is too small for me to read, so I have taken a picture with my iPad and then zoomed in so that I can actually see the chart. So I use both. I'm not cutting edge though. I haven't done a Hade, so I haven't actually experimented with that at all. Are you a floss licker? Yes, I can be if I have to be. Generally, I don't have to. I generally can, squeeze the thread together and take the needle and squeeze it through the eye of the needle, so I generally don't lick my floss. I have been known to. I will in a heartbeat. Do you buy, I was going to just skip over that word. Do you hoard or buy supplies as needed? Yes, both. I am a Flosstube. Yes. This actually is a glitter gulch needlework pattern. It's mostly black work, excuse me. And I haven't done it yet, but I think that just says, that's me in a heartbeat. Yeah. I have been known to rescue, yard sale, lots of floss. Okay, so do I buy as needed or do I hoard? Yes, both happens. When you hoard, generally, it's you still need something. You still got to go. You're always missing a color, or you want to have the same dye lot of the 4 different skeins that you need. So yes, I do buy as needed because in my hoarding, I never have what I need. What's your favorite floss? Yes. Oh, favorite? Yes. Lots of favorites. DMC is so readily available here in the States. We're so extremely lucky. Specialty threads, I do enjoy the overdyes, but I haven't worked with silks. I have some. I just haven't used them yet, so I'm just gonna have to say yes. Floss is my favorite. Comes in wonderful colors. Are you a serial starter or do you have a whip at a time? I can't really call myself a serial starter. I have whips, and sometimes they're UFOs, and sometimes they go in the tub of shame where they reside for years. Sometimes they come out. Sometimes they're still there. I haven't set anything on fire yet, but I'm not a serial starter by any means. But I don't hesitate to just put something down if I'm done with it for a while and do something else. Do you have more FFOs or UFOs? I would have to say, and I'll get into this later, why. I have more FFOs than UFOs. Do you watch TV while stitching? I watch Flosstube. I will watch a TV program that I've already seen before. I don't watch something new because I make mistakes then, and then the frog comes. So generally I will watch Flosstube, and when I hear the crinkle of plastic, I will look up and see what yummy goodness you have purchased, or I will watch a repeat. Do you mostly stitch alone, or do you ever get together with someone to stitch? Okay, my friend Gay comes over to the house, and she and I will stitch together. that needs to happen more often, but you know, it happens a couple times in a year, or a couple times a year, yeah. And then Stitching May, I've met with her, and we have gone up to a little quilt shop called Tiny Stitches, and once a month they have a get-together with cross-stitchers, and I have gone and I have done that once, and I have gotten with her 3 times, and that was very fun. Do you like to experiment and alter things with your charts, or do you stitch them just as written? Generally, I fix charts. And basically, if I find a mistake, I will fix it. It has to be square, it has to be even, it has to be, it's a horrible disease. But do I go and change things? No, I don't tend to experiment much. I have anxieties just getting that on the right line. Experimenting and changing things would just be sad. Do you bobbinate floss or not? Not. I don't have that much time in my world. I have, that just takes up too much time for me. Do you start a project in the middle of your fabric or at the corner? It depends. Some projects are more conducive to starting in the middle. Some projects, if they have a border, are more conducive to starting at the edge. It has a lot to do with the complexity of the project. If it was super complex, I'm probably more likely to start in the center, but like a heaven and earth, I definitely would start in a corner. Do you have a whip rotation? No. Do you use a timekeeper to keep track of how long it takes you to complete a project? No. I have one on my iPad, but I don't use it. Some things take years in which to finish. Some things have been in Q-snaps for years before they get finished. So, no. Do you use the parking technique? I used the parking technique and didn't know that's what it was called. But in my own fashion, I haven't done anything that really calls for that. I haven't done too many pieces that were solid. But I'm going to give it a try. Do you keep your orts? I used to. I used to keep them until the project was over with, because I thought, oh, you just may run out of floss and you may need just that one stitch. I just throw them out now. Do you have a snack or drink while stitching? Oh no. Oh no. I am klutzy and forgetful. I will forget that I put my coffee on the floor out of the way, and then 3 minutes later get up and kick it. No, there is no liquid anywhere close to any of my stitching and eating. I am fascinated by the eat the potato chips with the tongs thing, but I would feed my shirt, and no, we're okay with that. So that was Pam's stitching style tag, and I haven't cut off yet. That's exciting. Okay, so now we're going to do Donna's 10 honest questions tag. How long have you stitched for? Started in the late 70s. Do you prefer framing your projects or making them into cushions or wall hangings, etc.? I didn't actually finish anything until recently. I didn't realize that that was part of what we were supposed to do. Things got finished, but not by me, and I'll explain that at the last tag. But generally, when I finished something, it went in a drawer, got rolled up, went into a drawer. It's now recently that I have had the money and the wherewithal and the inclination to start finishing. I can't sew my way out of a wet paper bag. So far I've been doing all the framing because that's the most I'm comfortable with. I can't sewing. I own a sewing machine. I don't know how to use it, but I own one. Okay. Framing right now, would like to learn how to sew. Okay, favorite designer, very easily, La-Di-Da. La-Di-Da has been my favorite designer now for like 5 years. Fun stuff, really enjoy it. Haven't stitched a single one. Okay, what is the most you've paid for a design, fabric, floss? Okay, design, probably it was a Heaven and Earth with the shipping. I finally found it when Heaven and Earth had already discontinued it. So it was, I found it on 1-2-3 Stitch, had it printed and shipped to me, and that was like $27 and change. Okay, fabric. Noah's Sub. Noah's Sub was, I know what my bid was. I don't know what I ended up paying for it. I think it was $55. I think the fabric was $55 on Noah's Sub. And floss. Okay, I have rescue tubs of floss at yard sales. So the most I've actually paid was Craigslist, and it was $100, and I got an obscene amount of floss for $100. Okay. How many hours have you stitched on for just one project in one day? So marathon stitching, probably no more than 6. You know, when you have kids and husbands, I can't, that demand to be fed. I don't get to marathon very often. Okay. Have you got any FFOs where you have a major mistake in them but you wouldn't notice? I would notice, and major mistakes get fixed. I used to fix everything. I now, well, let me think about that. I'm trying to think. I have corrected what I feel was mistakes in the chart. I don't think I leave mistakes. I'll have to meditate on that for a while, but I don't think I leave mistakes. Nothing major. No, nothing major. What's your favorite project you have finished and most proud of? Well, I can tell you that. That's easy. Ta-da! That. I framed it. I actually wetted this down again because I didn't like the way I had ironed it. So what I did is I ended up blocking it and then just putting the iron up and down, and so I didn't distort this. So I'm really glad I couldn't measure the first time, and I ended up measuring it again and having to cut it out again because I did a much better job the second time. So yeah, I'm really proud of that. You may get to see that one more time because I'm so proud of that thing. Okay. And I lost my spot. Where I am. Have you lost your stitchy bug and what makes it come back? Actually, I have lost my stitchy bug recently, and it just came back. Did I do anything? No. Life happened for a while there, and I didn't stitch for probably 15 years. You know, so it happens. It comes back or it doesn't. I was lucky it came back. And I think when I realized that this was therapeutic, you know, that stitching is actually therapeutic, that and that's why I finally mentally smacked myself around and said, look, you enjoy it. It's relaxing. It does you a world of good. Pick it up again, and I did. So What makes it come back? Good stern talking to. Okay. Do you have to make sure you finish a project, or can you just leave them for months at a time and do new starts? Years at a time. Years at a time. Things in Q-snaps for years. Tub of shame. Years. Most hated type of stitch. Hands down, lazy daisy. Despise those things. Can't do them. They're uglier. They are butt ugly. I cannot do a lazy daisy stitch with any consistency or prettiness at all. So, okay, last tag. This is the unnormal tag. This is and the first question is, and this is Fishy Crafts, by the way, what is the strangest place you've ever stitched? And I don't think it, I can't say that it was any stranger than anybody else. It was, how strange did I act when I was doing the stitching? Okay, my husband, Dearest, he wanted to go see a conference, and it was not work related. It was recreational. And he says, do you want to go? And I was like, not really. I don't really want to go, but since, the room's already paid for, I'll go with you. So it was Virginia Beach. We were on the beach. We were facing the beach, and I never left the hotel. I never went down to the beach. I never got my feet in the sand, and I burn 20 minutes in the sun, and I'm a lobster. So, I basically opened up the sliding glass door to listen to the waves, and sat on the porch. I don't know, what do you call it? Balcony. That's it. The balcony. And sat there and stitched and listened and went down and got something to eat, would go back up and stitch. And he'd say, oh, well, did you go down to the beach? And I'm like, no. So that was probably the strangest I've ever acted while stitching, but it wasn't that strange of a place. What is your next favorite hobby? Next favorite hobby probably is playing with my dollhouse. To smoke or not to smoke? I smoked, haven't had a cigarette in over 15 years. Smoked in the past. I occasionally dream of smoking, and it's very enjoyable, but I really don't miss it. What is your favorite social media to share your stitching on? Instagram. Instagram is easy, point and shoot. Super easy. Facebook is next. Do you model stitch, or have you ever? Okay, this answers a couple other things. Yeah, I did. In the early 80s, both my mother and I worked for a company called Sherry Ann Designs. It was here, based in Tucker, Georgia. They produced cross-stitch books and needlepoint, hand-painted needlepoint canvases and cross-stitch leaflets. And my mom painted the needlepoint canvases, and I worked in the office pulling orders, and both of us stitched some of the pieces that ended up on the fronts of the leaflets. So yeah, I did a lot of model stitching, and they provided all the materials, they provided everything, and you either got paid, which was not a whole lot of money, or you got to keep the piece after they were done with it. So sometimes it had to go to shows, and sometimes sometimes they just took a photograph of it and you got it back fairly quick. So a lot of my pieces, yes, were finished, not by me. ornaments, and we still have some of the ornaments and some of the Christmas stockings, and some of the, like my son, my mother did a birth sampler for my son, and that ended up on the front of a pamphlet, or of a leaflet. That was pretty cool. So great question. That's a cool question. So yeah, I have more FFOs than UFOs, but I have no idea whatever happened to any of those pieces. So wash or no wash? Yes and no. I will not be washing. Nope, not gonna see water. Nope. Yep, got washed twice. So depends. It depends upon if it's overdyed floss or linen, hand-dyed linen. No, I wouldn't take that chance. It would have to be a catastrophe happened. I broke a cardinal rule by, bringing coffee into the stitching area. No, not that. But yes, I don't hesitate to DMC in an Ada. No, wash it in a heartbeat. Do you use a digital program? Which do you use? I have actually downloaded Goodreader and Foxit because of fellow Flosstubers have said it was useful. I have yet to really use either one of them. Okay, and what do you do with your finished project? I used to throw it in a drawer. Now I frame them, hoping I can learn how to use my sewing machine sometime in the future. So that's it. Nice tags, ladies. Nice tags. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I've been rattling on for 37 minutes. Hopefully this will take. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out, waiting, listening. Hoping other people do the same. Enjoy Flosstube community greatly. What a great bunch of people we are. So other than that, I'm done. Talk to you soon. Bye.